Hello, it's Saggy Joe. I just saw one of the best updates. Ooh. So, I saw one of the best updates. So, this video is alluding to the Friendlyjordies situation where there was a firebomb that occurred sometime around, was it last year? Oh, come on, pause. Okay. So sometime around this time last year, 17th of November, there was a firebomb set off at the neighbor's house, and it seems like they missed their target and firebomb Friendlyjordies' house. So Friendlyjordy is an Australian YouTuber, and was investigating at the time. One of the I can't remember his name. One of the like the upper senates, like the a corrupt senator in the Australian Parliament, and who had a lot of ties to corruption and everything like that. So firebomb was set off and was completely destroyed his house, and it's very scary when you think about it, because if this man had a family or pets inside the house, they would have perished right on the spot. So it's very scary to think about that. This is sort of like a retaliation, just like making very clear. Look, if they wanted to kill Friendlyjordies, they would have. Let's be honest here, but this is more so like a warning shot. However, it kind of backfired because Friendlyjordies uploaded it on YouTube, and there became a lot more awareness about the situation. And with that awareness, we got to this video. Also on Friendlyjordies,
A major crime family has been charged over the firebombing of Jordan Shank's Bondi home. The high-profile YouTuber known as Friendlyjordies was not at home during the blaze in November last year.
More than a year.
So it's really interesting how the person, if you look at the caption for the arrest, at least that's on the news, if my computer can actually respond for Christ's sake and actually function for one. It says on that headline, crime links, man with links to organized crime, charged over arson attack. So it's actually very surprising that with the level of corruption that occurred, that someone was even charged to begin with. Because, well, it could be that one of those FBI situations I alluded to, that I did a video on yesterday, where people are not really sure about the ramifications, and people are not really aware how a lot of crime, the reason why people get away with crime is because there's people up top who let it happen. And it's kind of surprising that the person was charged. Now, you could say the person was charged because they needed a fall guy, right? A fall guy, and then, this guy gets punished, but everyone else gets away scot-free. It's very possible that that's something that occurred, but kudos to Friendlyjordies for putting it out there. I saw a funny comment down here. I wouldn't say funny, but it was really interesting. It was a comment. I want to quote the person who said it. Come on. Well, it has a lot to do with investigative journalism, and it's kind of why investigative journalism has kind of died off. I think you had to be, so it's not loading. So the quote was, the true definition of a great investigative journalist is not winning the Pulitzer Award. It's attempted murder. So that means you uncovered something that's very heinous, that's very controversial. Sorry, just had to close the door. So something so heinous and so controversial that your life is in danger, and this is something that you have to keep in mind. You can risk this, right? If you're single, and if you don't necessarily have close ties with friends and family, you might be able to get away with investigative journalism. But yeah, if you think about the Panama Papers lady, she died a week later. She was literally assassinated. I think it was a pipe bomb that was put on her car, and she was killed. And now people really don't talk about the Panama Papers now anymore, right? So it's something to keep in mind, where investigative journalism, it's sort of like being a cop in a certain way, where sometimes your best candidates have to be single. have like not a lot of ties to this world, because those ties can be a source of comfort for you, but there can also be a source of blackmail, a source of inconvenience, for lack of a better word. And a lot of people do get frustrated with a lot of investigative journalism and how the quality has died down. And I think that's a fair criticism, but you also have to keep in mind these are people's lives as well. And people they just don't go on grow on trees, like the good ones, they die young because they want to stand for what's right. And when you look at the top, they don't stand for what's right. They just want all that's left. You know what I mean? So when you look at all the people who try to live like a good, virtuous life, the reason why we say the good people die young is because they're willing to sacrifice. They're willing to sacrifice for what they believe is the greater good. And what kind of gets lost in the sauce there is their existence, their very being, would have been more impactful had they lived a little longer. But if you're talking about more reach out there, then perhaps dying on martyr is not so bad. But there's a lot of the world. It's not for the virtuous and the right. Because when you see everything that goes on in the world, you just realize there's not much left for you and I. So something to keep in mind. Anyways, sorry to get a little bit depressed, but it's something that's worth talking about. Well, I'm not sure if I'll upload tomorrow, but I just want to say happy holidays and Merry Christmas to everyone that's there. I should make a video tomorrow, but probably more closer to the actual midnight. The midnight time of Christmas Eve. And if you don't celebrate Christmas, I wish you a bid you a happy holidays as well. And let's just get through this world together. Later days.